Hi friends, this lesson is Module 2, Lesson 2. The other day, I took Miles to a turkey farm. When we walked into the barn, in the first room we saw 6 turkeys. Then we walked a little bit further into the barn. We saw 2 more turkeys. And in the last room in the barn, we saw 4 turkeys. Of course, my little pal Miles loves to count things, so he wanted to know how many turkeys we saw all together. I thought about the first 2 rooms. I know that 6 plus 2 more is 8. Then I thought about that last room. There were 4 left. So if there were 8 in the first 2 rooms and then we still have the 4, I could go ahead and add 8 plus 4 to figure out how many turkeys we had seen that day. I'm going to start at 8 and I'm going to count up 4. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Altogether, we saw 12 turkeys. But as I was doing that math, I remembered our learning goal from yesterday. And our learning goal from yesterday was to try to find and make a 10 when adding 3 different numbers. So I thought about that problem again and I looked at the turkeys. I had 6 turkeys that we saw in the first room, 2 turkeys in the second room, and 4 turkeys in the last room. And I was thinking, I wonder if all of those turkeys, if there's a way to make a 10. Do you see a way to make a 10? Oh, I found it. There it is. 6 plus 4 equals 10. I made this weird circle-ish type of weird blobby thing to show that the group of 6 and the group of 4 are going to go together to make my group of 10. Then, of course, if you look carefully in the middle, you're going to see I still have 2 turkeys that I did not add into the group. So I still need to add together my 10 group that I found plus the 2. So 10 plus 2 more. I know if I have 10, I can count up 2 to get to 12. So 10 plus 2 equals 12. Yeah, that's what I got the first time. Wait a minute. If I add 8 plus 4, that will equal 12. And if I add 10 plus 2, that also equals 12. You know what I just realized? This goes perfectly with our learning goal today because it doesn't matter. If I have a group of numbers, I can move them around in any way. It doesn't matter. It won't make a change to how many I have all together or my sum, the total when I add them. Our learning goal today says I can move around numbers to find a 10 when adding 3 numbers. Sometimes the numbers are really helpful and they're right next to each other when I want to smush them together to make my 10. But when I'm looking at this group of turkeys, they're not right next to each other. I had to make this weird scribble, scrabble, blobby blob in order to get them to be together, and that's kind of tricky. So today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how we can move things without having to make big weird drawings, all right? Now when I'm looking at these hearts, I see in the first group there's 7, there's 1 in the middle, and there's 3 on the end. So my number sentence would be 7 plus 1 plus 3. Just like the turkeys, I wish I could just move that 3 over. Oh, perfect. Now I see a 10. Ugh, but I can't because once they're on the paper, it's going to be really tricky if I erase and have to draw over there. So what can I do instead? If I have 7 plus 1 plus 3, I'm going to go ahead and draw that picture. 7 hearts plus 1 more plus 3 because I want to make sure I have all the pieces. Now I'm going to look at what I could add together to make 10. I already know 7 plus 3 equals 10 because those are what I like to call 10 friends. When they're together, they make a 10. So I'm going to go ahead and circle them. But it's okay if I don't circle them together. If I circle the two parts, then I know that when I add them together, they're going to make a whole amount, or they're going to make a 10. So I'm going to go ahead and circle those 2 parts. Now, when I'm looking at my number sentence, I want to circle parts that match my picture. So I'm going to go ahead and circle in my number sentence 7 and 3 because those are the 2 parts that I use to make a 10. Oh, what did I just do? I took those 2 parts and I put them together to make the whole amount. Does that look like a number bond to anybody else? Certainly does to me. That's how I can show that those 2 parts are going to equal a 10. It's okay if they're separate in my picture and I have to circle them because I know in a number bond, the 2 parts aren't always right next to each other. They're spread apart and they're connected to the whole amount. So then I'm going to go ahead and add in that last one that I haven't put into my group yet. So now I have 10 plus 1. When I count up, I start at 10. I'm going to add one more, and that's going to get me to 11. Now I have 11 hearts altogether. That's my whole amount. Excellent job. Let's try it again. So if I have the problem 3 plus 4 plus 7, I'm going to want to look at how I can make a group of 10 again. Oh, there's that 3 and that 7. Now if you'll notice, they're not next to each other, but I know if I have 7 and I count up 3, I'm going to get to 10. Now if you're not sure, if you don't know your 10 friends or the friends that make a 10 very quickly, you can look at the numbers, but just look at 2 at a time. So like I would start with 3 and try to add 4 and see how many I would get. It'd be perfect to use your counting sticks for. 3 and 4 more, that's only 7. That's not enough to get to 10. So now I'm going to try 3 and 7. 3 counting 6 plus 7 more. Perfect. I have a perfect 10. That'll be great. All right, so there's that 10. And if I'm thinking about what kind of number bond that would make into that 3 add-end problem, I would have 3 plus 7 equals 4. See what I did right there? I took the original 3 numbers that I was adding together, 3 plus 4 plus 7, and when I rewrote the problem, I just moved them around and made them closer to one another. I'm going to think about the turkeys when I do that, because when I did the turkey problem, I had 12 turkeys no matter if I started in the beginning, I started in the end, or I started in the middle. At the end, when I added them all up, I still had 12. So it does not matter what order you add the numbers in, as long as you make sure you add in all the numbers. So I went ahead and moved them so that I had my group of 10 together. So I had 3 plus 7 plus 4. Well, I know 3 plus 7 is 10. So that means I just need to add in, whoopsie, I need to add in 4 more to get to 14. Sorry about that, friends. That was kind of out of order. But I had 10 for my 3 and 7. I added in the 4 that I haven't added in yet. And then I got 14 altogether. All right, it's your turn to try it with me. Can you go ahead and make sure that you have a dry erase board or your math journal? And if you don't have that stuff, go ahead and press pause while you go grab it. Okay, friends, are you ready? At the top of your board or in your math journal, I want you to write this number sentence. 2 plus 8 plus 9. I'm going to look for my 10 friends. If you need to draw a picture of each of those numbers, if it's tricky for you to count up on your counting sticks or count up in your brain, if you need to draw a picture of each of those to see, and that will help you, go ahead. If you're going to draw a picture, go ahead and press pause right now, and then press play when you're done. Okay, so here we go. So I have 2 plus 8 plus 9. I'm going to start with 2 plus 8 and just see if that makes a 10 on my counting sticks. 2 plus 8 more. Yep, there's my 10 friends. I'm going to go ahead and circle them. You go ahead and circle yours with me. All right, so we circled 2 and we circled 8 to show that those are the 10 friends. Now, if I wanted to rewrite that problem, I could say that 10 would be, putting those 2 first, would be 2 plus 8 plus 9. You don't have to rewrite this part because look it, did I have to change around my problem? Nah, they were already right next to each other. That makes it easy. All right, so I still see that group of 10 is in the beginning of what I'm adding because I want to start with those first, and then I'll just need to add in that 9. So this is the number sentence I do want you to write though. I do want you to write 10, and then I want you to write plus blank equals 9. Oh, sorry, equals nothing. Sorry about that. And I want you to tell me, how would you fill that in? I know that 2 plus 8 made the 10. What am I going to add to the 10 to get the whole amount? Go ahead and press pause while you work, and then press play to see if you're right. Okay, so we're filling in the rest of that bottom number sentence where we have 10 plus blank equals blank. I know that I added 2 and 8, so the other number I need to add in is 9. Did you put that? Good job. Now, if I have 10 and I'm adding 9 more, I can count up, or I can know that that's 10 plus 9. So I'm going to go ahead and make my one group of 10 plus my 9 ones, and that's going to get me to 19. Excellent job. Did you get the right one? If you did, kiss your brain, kiss your heart. If you didn't, kiss your brain and kiss your heart anyway for working so hard. All right, because remember, we're still learning. All right, our learning goal for today is I can move around numbers to find a 10 when adding three numbers. You want to make sure that you circle your 10. Sometimes that means circling them in one big lumpy picture. Sometimes it means circle them as the two parts and just make sure that you know that that's going to make your whole 10. Then, if you need to, you move those numbers around. Those numbers are working for you. You're the boss of those numbers, so make them do some work. If they need to move around in the number sentence so that the 10 parts are closer, then you go ahead and move them. Don't be afraid to change. All right, so here we go. I want you to go ahead and copy down this problem. 5 plus 3 plus 5. All right, once you've copied that down, go ahead, while you're doing that, you can go ahead and press pause for a moment. Now that you've written down 5 plus 3 plus 5, I know that I have a lot of other things here. I have this 10, and then I have the blank 3 numbers that we're adding together, and then I have another 10 plus blank equals blank. You don't have to write this 10. I just put that there to show you how you're going to need to move around these add-ins so that the 10 that you're adding together goes first. So in your math journal or on your dry erase board, I want you to rewrite this sentence. Circle your 10s and then rewrite it so that the 10s are the two parts of the 10 are together. And then the one number that we need to add is next. Then rewrite it as 10 plus that last number and the whole amount. All right? And that, my friends, is what I want you to go ahead and seesaw to your teacher. All right? Good luck.